Yeah.
Okay. What do we got to talk about tonight? Oh, we haven't been on for 2 weeks. Sorry about that. But this one will be a good one. I'm the Godfather. This is Flying High with the Birds, Philadelphia Eagles Talk with me. Podcast Chaplain Jimmy, what's up?
What's up, boys? NFC Championship.
Oh, we'll seal the deal, silly. What's going on? When I say it, he leaves the room. Seal the
What's
deal.
going on? What's going on?
There it is. There it is. Last but not least, we ain't going to call him by his regular name. Today, he's Barbecue Boy. Vahe, what's up?
Super Bowl, baby.
Yes, he's already got the parade planned, the whole 9 yards. I got to hear this. So, listen, I'm going to take my lumps early. I'm going to eat some crow. I was very concerned about this game because they played 4 bad games in a row. And I just didn't know if I wasn't so sure that the coordinators are going to be out coached, but I was absolutely proven wrong. Shane Steichen both of them did a great job. Steichen did it, or as, what's his name? Who's that guy that called him Shane Spikeman the other day?
Gronk
called him Shane Spikeman. So, but anyway, 38-7, the Eagles advance. They play the San Francisco 49ers this Sunday for the NFC Championship. It'll be a heavyweight fight, Vahe, just like that game. You said that the same thing on with Dallas and San Francisco on Sunday. So let's get it started, Vahe. What did you think?
I think they're going to win. I think emotionally, I think the NFC Championship game for San Francisco was last Sunday. And that was like very emotional, brutal game. And I think coming back to the East Coast, I think it's going to be tough for them to win in Philadelphia. I don't think that kid, he has no idea what's getting into. Brock, Purdy, what's his last name?
Purdy. Yeah.
Purdy.
Yeah.
I don't think he has any idea what it's getting into. The atmosphere, it's going to be really intimidating.
The crowd sounded amazing on Saturday night on TV. I mean, Will, you were there. What was it like?
It was electric. It was electric. I mean, it was a party right from the start of the game. I mean, nobody sat down the whole game. I don't remember anybody upset about anything. It was a party the whole entire time. That's just a tough environment to play in. And Tiki Barber was actually on WIP this morning talking about the Giants game and what he thinks Purdy's going to feel when he steps into that stadium. And he said, I mean, it's an enormous advantage to the Eagles because playing in Philly is unlike anywhere else. Like the fans are knowledgeable and they don't just hate you because they know you. They just hate you because they just hate you. That's just how it is. And it's just such a amazing environment to be in. And it's really tough for somebody that's a rookie coming into somewhere on his first away playoff game. And it's going to be a huge game.
Yeah. You know, if the Eagles lost that game to the Giants in the regular season final, would San Francisco have been the 1 seed or would it have been Dallas?
Yep. No.
So this game would have
But
been.
Dallas lost anyway. Dallas lost.
Oh, that's
too.
right. That's right. So, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, the San Fran would have been the 1 seed. And boy, that could make a really big difference here.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. But I'll tell you. What I really loved about the offensive game plan was that the ball was really spread around. I mean, the receivers, Quez Watkins, I didn't even know he was on the field, though. I will say that. But the running backs, all the running backs had a lot of carries. And
Gainwell
had over 100 yards, I know, which was unbelievable. I still love Sanders. And he did say last week that he really wants to be here. He said, please sign him, which was a good sign. I know, Vahe, he's your favorite player. But I think that he deserves another year or two with this team. So I don't know what you guys thought of the running attack last week.
I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, they ran at will. Like they were doing whatever they wanted. Jason Kelsey had a pancake block that he used one arm to basically flip the guy over him. I mean, they were able to do whatever they wanted with the Giants, and it was almost like the first time they played them. And I looked into the play count and everything, and I was actually surprised that, for the first time all season, and it was also the first playoff game for us, Pascal had more snaps than Watkins. So I
Yeah, he
don't know if they're valuing him more now that it's playoffs. I mean, it's just very interesting, but maybe it's because the game, ended up being, they were doing so much on the ground and doing whatever they wanted. Maybe they wanted Pascal in there to run block more. So maybe it just happened that way, or it's just, weird coincidence.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Also, he's a much better blocker than Watkins is. And I think the downfield blocking of the receivers are going to be very important. But listen, the Eagles are not playing the Houston Texans this week. They are playing the number one defense in the NFL, in the entire NFL, the 49ers, they don't blitz a lot. They play a lot of zone coverage. DeMeco Ryans employs almost the same exact defensive type scheme that Gannon does for the Eagles, but he's got some players over there. And in my guesstimation, without question, the best linebacker, the fastest and the best linebackers in the entire NFL. They're not going to be that easy to
San Fran's number one defense. Eagles are number two, right? Or somebody else?
No, the Eagles are.
Okay, who's number three?
Wasn't it Dallas, I thought?
No, not Dallas, not that good. Is it Chicago?
In defense? No, I thought it was Dallas. I don't know. You know what? I don't want to say.
Minshew put up 31 points on them?
Yeah, but that was one game. So, you know what? Honestly, I don't know. I'd be guessing. So
I didn't think that the defense was that good.
I thought their defense
They had
their
defense
they're fast. They got a really good defense and they're fast. And listen,
they had a rough stretch for 3 games, and that was pretty much it. But
Right.
They were pretty consistent all year.
yeah, but Jimmy, they really could have won that game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
Dak
yeah.
blew that game. Dak
Yeah.
blew that game.
Yeah,
and not
exactly.
having Pollard for the second half.
Yeah,
was
they
huge.
could have won. They easily could have won that game.
Yeah,
How about
absolutely.
Jerry Jones throwing his quarterback under the bus?
I would do the
It's
same
just-
thing. I mean, the thing is
I
that
love
this is supposed to be like the game take you to the NFC Championship, right?
Yep.
And he throws a pick on the 20-yard line on their
Yeah.
side of the ball. And then the second one, when they're the 20-yard line on the San Francisco side, he throws another pick. Come on, man.
First
Seriously?
pick was awful.
And they're paying him $40 million a
Yeah,
year.
$40 million a year. I mean,
Yep.
but but let's look at this. Let's look at this Brock Purdy guy. Yeah, no one really knew who he was. He's out of Iowa State. He started, I think, for 4 years for Iowa State. So he's played a lot of football in the last 3 or 4 years. He seems to be, to me, perfect for what San Francisco needs as a quarterback right now. And I don't think there's a better backup quarterback right now than he is. He has really come on strong. He's played good. I know they won 11 in a row, and he's 6-0, and I think he's played 2 or maybe 3 away games. And I know this is going to be a different ball game altogether, but let me go to you. Access his performance, what you see in the last couple of weeks.
I think he's doing enough, and he's making smart decisions. But listen, I mean, their coach has just been an outstanding offensive line over the years, and he's putting them in the right situations to succeed, and he's making it easier, and he's simplifying the game for them. And Purdy's doing, he's doing what you ask of him. I mean, he looks decent, but he's still not a great quarterback, and he's still very, very young, and he still will make mistakes. And he's shown that, he's thrown, I think, 3 or 4 picks since he started, which isn't, I mean, it's not awful. I mean, it's not,
it's not great.
thing. I mean,
But he's
still
not going to win you the game. I mean, people say he's not a manager. Yeah, he is a
Right.
manager. He's just managing the game. He's not really taking the offense on his back and winning them the game.
Right.
And
And
they
they-
scored 19 points, right? And out of those 19, 6 of them came on the, through the picks, right?
Right.
The
Yes,
key
that's
here
correct.
is too, he's never seen an atmosphere that what the link's going to be like on Sunday. He's never seen anything like that.
Yeah, but this is.
I mean,
here's-
there's veteran quarterbacks that come in here who can handle it, and he's a rookie quarterback. And I've been saying all year long, I'm scared of the 49ers, and
Yeah, you did.
I believe in the Eagles. I think they're going to win the game. And I've been, talking about the 49ers all year, and I really believe the Eagles are going to win this game. And the defense is going to step up, and they're going to win it for us.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
if you
just-
look back to their record, most of the games towards the end of the season was at home. They had a couple of road games, one against
Vegas and Seattle are the only road games. he played.
Seattle, and then the other one was Las Vegas too, I think.
And they almost
Yeah.
lost that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
And their defense gave up a lot of yards. But here's an amazing stat: the Eagles are 14-3. San Francisco's coming in here at what, a 2-point underdog with
2.5.
the third 2.5
Point and
point
a half.
underdog at the link, and a third string quarterback. That's really saying something about the 49ers. I mean, Vahe, your text the other day said it after the first quarter. You text us and you said, this is like a heavyweight fight. That's exactly what it was. And I think they said that any team that plays the 49ers really struggle the following week because the 49ers take so much out of you. And I honestly think that Dallas would have been really beat up if they came here this week for that game. So honestly, San Francisco to me is definitely the better team, and they deserve to be there. And they won 11 in a row, the hottest team in the whole NFL right now. But it's just amazing with a third string quarterback and playing all the way across the other end of the country that they're only a 2-point dog. To me, that says a lot.
Tell you, you're right. It's telling you Vegas likes the 49ers, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But let's go over their attack. I mean, they got two good wide receivers, Debo and Ayuk. Debo's is not the same player that he was the last couple of years. Because remember, he was like a dual threat running back, and like he did all that stuff. Now he's just a receiver, and he's not involved in a lot of plays. And who's the main running back? The guy with the calf.
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey is very good, but honestly, I don't think he's exactly the player he was a couple of years ago.
It's a calf injury, right?
It's a calf. You're right.
Yeah.
He's got a calf injury, but I think he can be contained. But that was a great pickup for them. Honestly, I mean,
he reminds me of Saquon Barkley. I mean, he has the similar attributes, maybe slightly faster, but
Yeah.
those kind of guys, they don't really do well with the E. I don't know. I mean, you're right. If you look at the line, it's 2.5, which is not much. But if you look at the overall for Super Bowl, they're the worst picked to win the Super Bowl.
I know. I saw that. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Basically, is that I think the Eagles' defense matches up well with them because the thing is that for them, McCaffrey is the guy, right?
Right.
And but he's the type of a guy that the Eagles are really equipped to handle. I mean, they neutralized Saquon Barkley, right? And I have no problem. They're going to do the same thing. So the question is that if the Eagles take him out of the equation, what else Brock can do to keep the chains moving forward? He's not a mobile quarterback, right? So he's going to rely on his George Kittle and the wide receiver.
Great tight end.
That could be the
Maybe
weakest link
best in
for
the NFL.
that could be our weakest link, right? But other than that, right, our corners are very good. So if they're going to be able to basically move the chains forward, George Kittle has to have like an awesome day because I don't think McCaffrey is going to be able to do that.
We can't forget about Elijah Mitchell too. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, he is.
But apparently he has some groin issues.
He's
too.
got something. He's tweaked something himself too.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? Listen,
The key is to this game, I believe, keep the 49ers off the field and keep the
Oh.
crowd to the game. That's
That's what I didn't like when they played New Orleans. New Orleans came out with a 10-minute drive. And that
can't have
game.
that.
They cannot have that. I mean, they
It'll
got to
take
take
all
some
the air
chances.
out of that building.
Well, listen, we all know that Gannon's going to play a zone and just depend on his 4 or 5 men rushing the quarterback. And I just hope that it's a tight zone, So, but here's another really interesting tidbit. They always say, what are the Eagles going to do as they get down the line here and they start facing elite quarterbacks? They've not faced one. I mean, they're in the NFC Championship game already. And to this point, they really have not faced an elite quarterback.
Who, the Eagles?
No, I mean, like going into the last part of when you get in the playoffs, you're playing these elite quarterbacks and all. None of them were elite quarterbacks. If they go to the Super Bowl, they're going to play against one. But that's basically it. But San Francisco's to me, every time I've watched them play, they are tough. They're very hard-nosed,
Physical.
ground and pound. Yeah, and they got listen. Eagles have a great offensive and a defensive line. So does San Francisco. They got a great. I mean, they're really good on both lines. Their offensive line is tough. I think the Eagles are better, but I think both teams have intangibles that make them better in certain ways.
John Lynch built the team the way he played.
Yes, good point. That's a great point. But they got talent. They got talent all over the place.
The whole game is going to come down to Purdy and how he deals with pressure. I mean, the Eagles, they got 75 sacks now already for the season. They're only, I think, 5 behind the 95 Bears and 7 behind the 84 Bears in sacks for a whole season. Yeah. I mean, Purdy's not used to seeing this type of defense. I mean, this is easily going to be the best defense he sees all year, and it's going to be a real tough environment to play in. So the game's going to come down to him, and if he can, find other ways to help his team, win.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I agree.
Yeah, I just think whatever team forces the other team into their weaknesses, I think that's what's going to be the telltale sign. Still the Eagles still concern me a little bit because that they have a dog of a game in them if that does happen. But I got to tell you this interesting point. I've been really on Shane Steichen.
They were saying last Sunday the best thing happened to them. They lost the coin toss.
Oh yeah, but
that was the best thing happened to them.
No, I agree 100%. And I just forget what I was going to say.
Sorry, man.
No, that's okay. That's okay. But it's really hard to predict this is what I wanted to say. I was really on Shane Steichen all year, and I did not realize this, but remember when the Eagles started last year and they were just terrible. Their offensive play calling was terrible. Then it turned around and they had a great running game. I did not realize that Sirianni called the plays up until I think after the Raiders game, and then Steichen started calling the plays. So maybe Steichen's a lot better than we anticipated that he is. And while I'm on Sirianni, what are your guys' take on his antics, on the sideline anymore? That's starting to grow a little dry with me.
Yeah, I mean, he has to really, try to be more refined. I mean, come on, it's not like in college anymore.
Doesn't he appear to be cocky?
I kind of like it. I feel like the players, feed off of it. I mean, I like how violent and crazy he is on the sidelines. I mean, when you're playing, if you see your coach doing that, you kind of feel that same, intensity. Yeah. I mean, it's you just feed off of it because you're a team, and if your coach is doing it, you get fired up too. So I'm not against it. I could care less.
Yeah, I'm the same way you will. But do you think if they start losing, it could go the other way with it?
He ain't. That's right. He ain't doing that. I just get the feeling that he's trying too much to be. What's the saying now? It's a Philly thing. That's that big saying they say now. I think he's trying to be too much Philly to the fans, a little too much. You know, he's like blasting Angelo on his press conference after the game.
We're a game away from the Super Bowl. I'm not going to criticize
No,
Coach
I know that.
whatsoever. He
I
can do
know,
whatever he
Then,
wants.
then on the Twitter, you see that face that he makes that like he's looking like this, like right into the camera after they took a 2-touchdown lead. Like it's cocky, but I don't know. I think in this business, as a head coach, you just don't want to burn your bridges. Like Andy Reid never did that, you know.
No,
He was
Andy
never
Reid was-
chest bumping
yeah.
guys and all
Andy
this
Reid
stuff.
never won anything here either.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I don't know. But
He
I'll
ended
tell
up
you.
getting into a
Did you
kissing
see-
match with one of the side judges too, right?
Oh yeah, when he says, "I know what I'm to know," he goes, and I'm allowed to F and be here, and I know what I'm doing. Something like that. I forget. That was funny, but it was, it was funny. Who was number 5 for the Giants? The left defensive end, the first round draft choice. What the hell?
Thibodeau or something like
Yes,
that.
here Thibodeau would say, "He's effing holding me." And I knew it was coming from him. And then a minute after they scored, it was right after that was when you hear Sirianni cursing, which was so it just goes to show you how electric it is. But I got to tell you, I did not expect that. I thought that game was going to be a little bit of a dogfight. And I was wrong. I thought the Giants were going to come in here prime, ready to go. I really thought all along the Eagles were going to win. I just didn't think it was going to be as easy as it was. So it just tells me that, the Eagles just their talent trumps anything that the Giants had on them. So their talent's really coming through. So when I see the way they're playing now, to me, that is, what's our general manager's name? I can't remember.
Harry Roseman.
That's Harry Roseman right there. He's the one that got all these players to play. So did you guys hear anything about Avonte Maddox is practicing now?
Well, it's Tuesday. This is supposed to be the first.
I heard it
today.
today that he practiced with the team.
Wow.
Yeah.
I heard that the other day that he was, but they were saying they still don't expect him to play, but he was taking part in practice.
Well, think about this, Jimmy.
I guess we'll see tomorrow when they practice for real.
Well, let's say he don't play this week and they win. He's got 2 more weeks. He's going to play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, great. And Gardner Johnson played great in his place.
He's great. I tell you, he is a great cover. He's a great cover guy for that position in the slot, a great slot corner. He might be even better than Maddox. And if Maddox does come back at some point, what do you do? Do you put Maddox at safety now, or do you put him back in his other slot?
No, Gardner Johnson's just he's a better overall player. That's why they can put him in there in the slot. But if Maddox is back, you would just put him right back to slot because he'd be more of a liability if you put him at safety because he's not that natural type safety. He fits better as a slot corner.
But he did a very good. He's a horrible corner, but he's a very good safety. Maddox. He's played safety and he is good. So, but anyway, but if he comes back, then Blankenship, I guess, goes back to the bench.
Yeah.
Right. He'll just play in nickel coverage, I guess. So,
I still don't know how they got Gardner Johnson. What were the Saints thinking? Isn't that incredible?
Well, it makes you say to yourself now, you got this growing list of guys whose contracts are going to be up after this year. I mean, Harry Roseman's job's going to be mind-boggling. Come to March.
See,
with all these
how much
players.
with Hurts? They have to sign him this year, or they can delay it until next year?
They can wait another year.
Yeah, but you don't want to wait another year because
It'll cost
he does.
more.
If he does great, his bargain
He's
price
already
is gonna
looking at 45 to 50 mil.
E-
They win the
easy.
Super Bowl. He's getting 50.
Yeah.
It's just hopefully he'll take a little team friendly deal. I mean, in my opinion, he's getting 45 to 50 a year.
That may end up being a team friendly deal, though. When you look at
it's
it, what these
incredible.
quarterbacks are making. But I like what he says. Like when he talked at his press conference last week, he said, "I'm starving for this. This is what I'm here for." And you know what? He is. I mean, he really, truly is. And he's a smart quarterback. He really, truly is.
He turned me into a believer in that Colt game. He was just sitting there on the bench, cool and calm, yo, we got this. Even after, AJ Brown fumbled. No big deal. Don't worry about it. He's sitting there on the bench, all calm. We got this. We got this. And they won the game.
Speaking of AJ Brown, do you think there might be a little bit of friction there with him not getting as many balls?
But they were saying that he was hurt.
Yeah, Armin. So I didn't when we were talking about this other day, I didn't put it together in my head. When I was at the game, me and Gina actually noticed him get hurt and get really frustrated and walk to the sideline. And that's when I think you saw him frustrated and Sirianni was holding him.
Yeah, but he wasn't even looking at Sirianni. It was almost like he was mad at something.
Yeah, no, I think he was frustrated with the injury because he even tried to go back in for a play, had to come back out. We saw him walk with the trainers. He went back into the game, then he came out again. So I think he was dealing with something, but there wasn't any report to say, you know.
What is it? Is it his leg or?
It looked like something with his leg, the way he like came off the ground and he kind of like held something. He was walking like gingerly. So it was something with like maybe a hamstring or something. But I mean, there wasn't any report throughout the week or anything.
And speaking of injuries, Lane Johnson did
Man,
heck
that
of a
guy.
job.
He's the MVP of the team.
He is, but this week's going to be telling for him. Him and Mulata are going to go back and forth with the guy that had 19 sacks this year.
Nick
He is
Bosa.
a beast. Bosa is a beast. And that defensive line revolves around what he does. And he's in there almost on every single play. Like when the game is on the line, like they do the rotation, he don't rotate that much. He's in there and he's healthy. He's going to be a load for them to handle. But like injury wise, I noticed that we saw Dickerson come out, something with his ankle. And then I heard this week that they were saying on WIP that he tweaks that all the time. And he just has to get retaped and then back in. I'll tell you, he's tough. I mean, you could tell there's a guy that just, no matter if he's hurt or whatever, he's going to stand there. Kelsey's tough. Malo had a good game too. Remember the one where he pushed, I think it was Gainwell for that first down in the fourth quarter. That was beautiful. But they're all playing really good right now. And you just hope it just continues on this week. But what do you got? I'm just curious. Last year with this San Francisco team, everything was Deebo Samuel. Everything. What do you guys see from him this year? I'm not seeing it, but I don't know if you guys see the same guy out there because I saw them play 5 or 6 times this year.
During the season, they haven't used him the same way, but a little bit in that Dallas game, you could see it coming back, almost like they were saving him for the playoffs, making sure he's healthy. He's still the same guy, I think, and I still think they'll use him when they need him. When they really need him, they're going to use him. I just think that right now with McCaffrey, you really don't need him to be that role because McCaffrey's so elusive and he's so two-dimensional. I just think, they just haven't needed him in that aspect. Like last year, I mean, he was everything. But I mean, this year it's just not the case. Yeah.
Do you see the Niners scoring a lot of points in this game?
I don't see them scoring more than 15.
Wow, really?
I have them about 20. I said about 20.
20,
I agree.
think they'd be very.
I had in that range. I'm with you. Well, I agree, Will. I think they're around that range, 16.
And they
to
only
20.
scored 19 last week at home against Dallas. So
I just really think Purdy's not going to be able. I don't think he knows what he's in for. When he comes here.
he has ice water in his veins. You never know, man.
You don't know. I mean, I'll tip my cap to him if he does that. But I just think it's going to be insane down there on Sunday. It's a 3 p.m. game.
Yeah.
Say what you want, but like, it's good that it's a 3 p.m. game because their body's still on 12 o'clock. I mean, they're West Coast.
That's a good point.
They played a day later than us, and then they're also have to fly across the country. So that's another day they're missing. They're really on a short week.
Yeah.
Last year the Eagles played San Francisco, right? In the final, I'm looking right now.
Second game of the year.
The final score was 17-11.
Yeah, that's the game where Hurts hit Quez Watkins for like an 80-yard pass down the right sideline, and he almost scored. He got tackled on the 10, and that was their last good play of the game on offense. they were nullified, the Eagles, the rest of that game. But then again, Hurts was a different quarterback last year.
Yeah, but I mean, San Francisco only scored 17 points. too.
Yeah. Yeah, true. And the Eagles defense wasn't as good. So that's a good point there. But here's an interesting question for you.
I mean, my
Okay,
thing is
okay.
basically, for me, it seems like not an easy win, but I think it's a win for the Eagles. But I go back to the line, and you're right, Armin. Why is it only 2.5 points? That's, for me, it's like the red flag that somehow, for being the home team, number 1 seed, San Francisco having a tough game against Dallas, flying across the country,
Still tight.
having a rookie quarterback, all
Yep.
those things basically should say at least maybe 4 points
Yeah.
for the Eagles, and yet it's only 2.5, and that's, for me, it's like the slight red flag.
Yeah. I don't see the 49ers dominating the Eagles. I don't see that happening. I think the Eagles could dominate San Francisco. But if the Eagles win this game, they're going to earn it. I can tell you right now, because it will be a dogfight. And this is by far the fastest defense that they will have met this year. So I don't know what the guy's name is, but I think he's a safety, number 29. That guy's all over the field. I don't know what his name is.
PJ Ward.
No, he's number 29. His hair comes out of his helmet. He's all over the field. I mean, he really knows how to attack a ball carrier. I mean, they're a great tackling team, and they tackle in numbers too. So I'll tell you, D'Amico Ryans has done a really good job with that defense. And I would say that he probably will be a head coach next year in this league because of what he's done the last 2 years with this team. And remember, San Francisco, they went all the way to the championship, the NFC championship game last year, and should have beat the Rams. They lost that game, but could have very easily won that game.
That was a great game.
It was a great game, but I mean, they played great defense every game. They played great defense against Dallas in their first one, and then they beat Green Bay at Green Bay, and they nullified Aaron Rodgers completely and almost, put it to the Rams. So they're going to show up definitely defensively, and I think both they're just very physical on offense and defense.
No, I agree, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking at this the breakdown from last year. So the Eagles, they scored a field goal first. Then the San Fran, they scored a touchdown. Then they scored another touchdown, made it 14-3.
Yeah, the
Then
Eagles
field
just
goal.
right, but the Eagles just after that completion of Watkins, it was like an 85-yard completion from like the 2-yard line. And I remember that play because that's when Brandon Brooks got hurt. Brandon Brooks was in the game until like the end of the first quarter. Then he came out. Dickerson played right guard, and he really struggled in pass coverage as the right guard that first game. He eventually moved to left guard, and I think they really struggled throwing the football after that. So, but then again, you got a completely different scheme and a completely different team. Let me do a commercial real quick, and we'll go on to the game this week. Is your kitchen or bathroom outdated or in serious need of repair? Since 1987, Kitchen World offers the latest in custom, semi-custom, and even stock cabinetry. Designers offer the absolute best in custom design, right down to the exquisite molding details. That's Kitchen World, with showrooms in Philadelphia, Bucks, and Montgomery County. Call Burton to set up an appointment at 267-228-9875, or check us out at kitchen-worldinc.com. All right, how do you see this game starting?
Okay, before we go there, right? So I'm looking at the breakdown. So they scored a touchdown with Jalen Rigger, 36-yarder, but came back because they said that he was out of
bounds or something?
Out of bounds or something, right?
Yeah, figures.
And sorry, it was ineligible downfield pass, and I think and then they blocked the field goal. So technically, instead of getting a 7 points, end up getting nothing. So if you add that 7 points to the total, the Eagles have won that game, would have been 18-17.
Yeah,
So what I'm saying is that you're right. I mean, San Francisco was very good last year too. I don't think there's that much difference between last year's and this year's team, right?
well, the quarterback. And speaking of the quarterback, I was going to ask you
But
guys
this
this.
guy's doing even. You're right. But Joey Bosa was last year too, right?
Yeah, he was here. He played.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
thing is that what's the difference between last year's San Francisco, besides the quarterback, and this year's San Francisco? Obviously, they got Christian McCaffrey, right? But other
Right.
than that, it's pretty much the same team.
I just think that the tight end is going to be a big part of their offense.
George Kittle.
Absolutely. And especially taking advantage of the linebackers. I think that's one key thing that they really have to look
Yeah,
at.
I
I'm
think that's-
worried about him because he can
I
make.
think you're right. That's the weakest link for the Eagles.
Yeah, it
And I
is.
think that's what they're going to exploit.
Now, this is a question for you guys regarding the 49ers. The way Purdy has really come on strong. Do you see him maybe getting the starting nod next year over Trey Lance?
Why not? I definitely say it. I think they have a good problem.
I don't
They
know.
could-
I think Trey
they could
Lance
have
might get
potential-
traded. He
Yeah,
may
I
get traded.
agree. I agree with you 100%. They could potentially have two quarterbacks.
Yeah, and then Garoppolo.
That's a good
They still have
problem now.
Garoppolo.
I think
Well, he's
I
a
think-
free agent after this year.
Yeah,
I think they have to wait and see what's going to happen this Sunday.
Yeah, but is
Because
it?
everything so far is basically packaged, put him in the best possible situation for him not to screw up. I don't know whether to win the games,
Yeah,
but the thing is that this Sunday will be very good indication. If he basically flops, then you cannot have him as a quarterback, because the thing is that all your games not going to be home games. You still have to play on the road. And last year, what was it? Arizona, they had like 2 wins or 3 wins, and then you had the Rams 5 wins. So the division was very weak anyway.
yeah.
So
But they were still 13-4 though. So, but then I
I
see
think they
what
go into next season with both of them, and then they're going to make a decision.
now. But here's another question. I know Garoppolo was just about ready to come back. Will he be active, do you think, for this game? And if he's not, who is the backup?
They just
Yeah,
Go ahead.
their coach said he'd be very, very surprised if Garoppolo would be back for the championship game. So I don't see him coming back at all this week. So it's their 4th string guy. I can't remember his name.
it's John, isn't it Johnson something? He's been on like
Yes, he's
Oh
been
my
with like
God.
10 different teams.
yeah, that's him. Yeah.
But he's adequate. He's an adequate back. He's been around. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows the drill. So
But I think next year the 49ers, they're both quarterbacks are on the roster, and they have a decision to make maybe next year, see what they have after, let it play out.
well, I know that Lance. What did he do? Break his ankle?
So
Whatever
yeah,
he broke, it had to be reset again after
Yeah.
about a month because it
Yeah.
wasn't healing properly. So that's going to set him back a little
yeah.
bit. And I saw him play. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm not
know.
really sold on him either.
Yeah, I mean, they what
And
did they traded like a
They
first
gave up
round?
a lot to get him. They gave
Yeah.
up like 2 first-round picks
Did they really? Oh my
to
God.
Miami.
Oh,
But I think they got one of the picks back in another trade last year. So,
okay.
but they
Well, they-
definitely gave up a lot to go and get him.
But
Well,
they
they-
could have afforded that because the rest of the roster is just really in good shape.
They might still be able to get something good for him too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, yeah, you'll have a team out.
I mean,
there
look
that
how many
want 'em.
teams need a quarterback.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Well, here's a question for you. Let's take the whole league, the entire NFL. Where do you rank Hurts? No, seriously, where would you rank him?
I'd
Top
rank him
five.
behind Mahomes and Barrow.
Well, I tell you, you're
That's
saying
where I
Mahomes
would-
and Barrow. I'm
Barrow
starting to
would-
think Barrow and Mahomes. Barrow's
I would-
like,
I mean,
Right.
off the top of my head, the only 2 I would take are Mahomes and Barrow.
yeah,
over-
Allen is a distant fourth.
I think, yeah, but Barrow
He's-
just, he's got
Josh
ice
Allen is
to it.
not winning the Super Bowl. He reminds me of Carson Wentz. I mean, that guy is not. Now it's likely more smart than Wentz, but talent-wise, there's no way he's winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No way.
Now, here's a question for you. I was thinking about this the other day. If Minshew signs with another team, would you guys be happy if the Eagles got Foles as the backup?
He's not retiring?
He's
He-
32, 33 at
You
most.
still need a good backup here. At least
Yeah.
someone that's had a lot of, games played under his belt, because he's a running quarterback. He's always going to have that issue or chance that he could get hurt. So you got to have somebody reliable. I don't think Foles at his age is the guy anymore.
I think we need a running quarterback in the mold of Hurts, just in case he gets
Yes,
hurt.
similar
So
to
we
what
could
the
run the
Ravens-
same offense.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Ravens have their backup quarterback is, a running type quarterback, so
Yeah.
they can just plug them right in and run the same thing. I think you're right, Jimmy. That's exactly what the Eagles really need.
And Vahe, this question's for you because you're the money guy. If Hertz wins the Super Bowl, do you see Howie Roseman immediately trying to get Hertz signed by March or wait
Probably,
until
yeah,
next
because
year?
I think they're carrying over some money from this year to next year too. So that's what he's going to try to do.
He's going to
Because-
be the big guy, but maybe in our last podcast, if it's after the Super Bowl, hopefully we can talk about all the free agents that got after this year. And I think there's more than we originally thought that are like both linebackers are free agents. Epps is a free agent. Chauncey Gardner's a free agent. Bradbury's a free agent. I'm just looking at the defense so far.
Yeah,
Cox
I
is a
think
Cox is a free agent.
Cox is a free agent. Barnett's a free agent. Who am I missing? Oh, yeah. And then you got the two guys that they picked up, Sue and Joseph. You don't even know if they're going to be here next year. So that's just the defense. Our defense could look completely different next year.
the good thing is the offense should be the same, Mike, depending on the Sanders situation.
I
So
got
that's a
you.
good thing. And who else would you want managing the cap than Harry Rose?
Yeah, that's
He
true.
knows how to move those numbers around. And
And
That's
he's-
why it's a couple of the mock drafts, they have the Eagles picking a running back in the first
yeah,
round.
I love that too, Vi. I was looking at that last night. There's like 2 running backs that who could legitimately fall to him.
Who's the
We're
other
good
guy
players.
besides the guy from Texas?
I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like an Alvin Kamara type guy, Dalvin Cook type guy. He's a big guy who can move out of the backfield. I
Okay.
was just looking at the mock draft last night. They had him like 32, which I'd be
Yeah.
happy taking a running back there.
Well, there you go. That's at the end of the first round, actually.
I can't remember the guy's name, but
Do you know where he played?
let me see if I can look it up again.
Okay. And while you're looking that up real quick, I was thinking about this the other day too. If Derek Barnett was healthy all year, with all the action that the defensive line has, how many sacks do you think he could have had this year?
Or penalties.
No, let's just talk about the sacks because he's a different type of, he just has a bull rush. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of things, but he only had a couple sacks last year. But with all the sacks the guys had, and the fact that he would have been able to rotate with the guys, do you think it's possible that maybe he would have had multiple sacks this year, or am I dreaming?
I don't think he would have nearly as many as these guys. Like, he's not going to be over 7 or 6 or 7.
Still a lot though.
Yeah.
And the other question is he here next year?
That's me just being generous, though. Like, he's not the same type of player as Reddick or even what Sweat has become. We
Yeah.
saw glimpses of Sweat last year and what he's capable of. I mean, Barnett's he hasn't developed enough of a variety of rushes to be that type of sack, production type guy. So
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah, but they there's going to be wholesale changes, I think, on the defense after this year. So it's like they got to do it this year. They're playing for this year right now. I don't know what they talk about. This team's going to be great for years to come, but if there's a lot of changes in the team, that could make things a lot different. And then you don't know if Kelsey's going to be here. Is he going to retire? That's going to be a big loss if he retires. And I don't care if Juergens is, next in waiting and he ends up being pretty good. There's only one Jason Kelsey. So I don't know. I think that's going to be a story for another day. that's going to be the biggest story in the offseason. Who are they going to draft and who's getting re-signed? They're the two biggest things. I'm not so sure they're going to go after free agents. Maybe they will if they don't sign a lot of these guys that are free agents on their team now. But it's just a shame because this whole group is really meshing into one. And think about this. They may not have their coordinators either. Both of them may have head coaching jobs. So this team could look completely different next year.
Oh yeah, I heard somewhere that basically if Gannon goes, they're after the guy from Denver. The
guy that was the head coach
the Italian guy.
for the
Fangio.
Yeah,
but I
Yeah.
heard something about that if Peyton gets a job, he's going to take him as his defensive coordinator.
Peyton's becoming a head coach.
Well, Sean Payton.
Oh, Sean Payton. I thought talking
Yeah.
about Peyton Manning.
No. If Sean Payton gets a head coaching job, they talked about him hiring Vic Fangio as his defensive coordinator. Fangio would be
Why would he take that job? They don't have a quarterback. They don't
Who?
have picks.
who?
You're talking about Denver, right?
No, but what? No. I don't think he would go to Denver because he got fired from Denver. So if Sean Payton gets hired as the head coach of Denver, I don't think Fangio is going to want to go back to Denver.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But if he goes, like I know he just took an interview with Carolina, and he's one of the leading candidates to get the Carolina job. Might be a nice gig for Fangio to be a defensive coordinator. And he's smart. He does a lot of blitzing, real smart. He mixes up his coverages. He's a really good scheme guy. I really like him. So, all right. So God, we've been on 50 minutes already. So why don't we go with the
The
predictions?
picks.
You want me
Well,
to go
last
first?
week Will won.
Yeah, I
He was
guess.
the only
You
one who
know,
was comfortable enough
he-
to say it's going to be a blowout.
He was
It's
at the
a-
time that he made that prediction, he was probably hammered in the parking lot and
Well,
just
How
threw
do
a
you,
number out
Will?
there.
Good
No,
job, dude.
listen, I came to play for the playoffs. The regular season doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, he's just and he's
Either he was hammered or he
Right
just
now, I'm
took
1-0.
That's
Either
right.
that
Will.
or he
What's
just
that?
took his medical marijuana.
Yeah, he seals the deal when it really counts, right?
Legends are made in the playoffs, right?
That's
Will?
correct.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Complete loser during the season, but the legend come playoff time.
Well, you guys are all 0-1.
So, I'll go first. I think it's going to be a dogfight, and I really do think that the Eagles are really going to start to take control. I see them winning by at least 2 touchdowns. I might
Whoa,
be crazy.
whoa.
I might
You were
be
just saying it's
crazy.
going to be a dogfight.
I think no, you didn't hear me completely. I think it's going to be a dogfight, but at some point in the second half, I just think that the Eagles are just going to start to take control and they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. I also think that the 49ers are not going to score a lot of points. But I don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. I thought that the Giants were going to play them real tough last week. I don't know. I'll go 28-14. Then
Okay, who's next?
my
I'll go next.
barbecue boy can go last.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I as I texted before, my score is 27-10. And that's going to be in line with what they're thinking over under. And I think you're right. They're not going to be able to score San Francisco too many points. And
What about 27-12, like 4 field goals?
I think George Kittle is going to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And so 27-10. I
Okay.
think that's going to be fun. Something along those lines.
All right. Jimmy?
Damn, you guys got me rethinking my pick now. I'm gonna go.
Don't pick the Giants.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna go 26-20 Eagles.
Wow.
26-20?
Wow.
How do you get 20?
20?
How do you get a 26?
I don't know how they're gonna get 26. They're gonna get 26-20.
Jake Elliott missed the field goal. That's all.
Yeah, well,
They missed
bye.
extra points. They
Bye. I'm
I
gonna-
26-20. I was gonna go closer than that, but 26.
All right, that's a good score. Now, Vi, I'm going to tell you something. Before the guy that picks last, that always wants the same score as you had, I'm going to predict that he's picking a blowout. So, go for it.
Listen, this game, I just see Purdy having so much trouble with all the pressure and all the fans. And one thing that everybody keeps saying about the 49ers defense is that they really struggle with mobile quarterbacks. And I just feel like this is a matchup nightmare for the 49ers.
Wow.
I think we win this comfortably. I don't think it's a dogfight. I think this is just going to be another party, and I think we're going to win 33-13.
Damn.
Wow.
Well, it looks like you're only going to end up winning one game in the playoffs, Will.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what you think.
That's a blowout. Well, 30 was that 33-13?
Yep.
That's 20 points.
Yes, that's big. So, okay.
Any,
Any,
Well, it's not that
Anyway-
much. I mean, it's not that much worse than what I said, 27-10. That's 17.
no, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
So
An extra touchdown. So
Yep, that's still a lot against the 49ers. But then
Almost.
again, but I saw what Derek Carr did against the 49ers about 5 weeks ago. And the 49ers looked like they just couldn't get off the field on defense. So, and
I'm also-
Carr's not even mobile. So,
I'm also going to say that the Eagles are going to pass the Bears in sacks for all time this week.
I
think-
could see him getting to Purdy a lot this week.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think not only will they pass their regular weekly 5 sacks, I think they go for 6 or 7 this week,
Damn.
and a pair of picks.
Should
Wow.
bet that.
let me put it to you this way.
Okay.
You know that he's going to be doing nothing but 3 and 5
Okay.
step drops.
one guy, who do you think is going to have a big night?
Hassan Reddick,
Hassan Reddick. Okay.
Yeah, that's
How about
a
on the offensive side?
AJ.
Devonta Smith.
No, I say AJ Brown too.
Yeah.
I say AJ too.
No, well,
I say
I tell you,
AJ too.
I'm going to give
No.
you a sleeper. I don't know why, but I just think that Boston Scott's going to be heard from in this game. Because whenever they play against a monstrous defensive line, Boston Scott delivers all the time. And they had him playing last week. I don't know whether it was just because it was against the Giants, but I really like him. I mean, he's going to be a tough guy to tackle. So
I think Jalen Hurts is going to show everybody why he should be the MVP after this game.
yeah, I agree. But my big concern is how our linebackers are going to be able to handle Kittle across the middle of the field. I'm not even sure who was the slot receiver for San Francisco. Ayuk?
Ayuk?
No, I thought Ayuk was an outside receiver. With I guess it's
Debo,
Debo.
Debo plays the slot. Ayuk plays outside.
And who's the other receiver? I can't remember.
Just Kittle. That's
They
it.
really don't have another one. They're either running the ball or giving.
2 running back. Well, they have
Three
a
of it.
fullback. They have a fullback, right? That blocks a lot of times. So that could be interesting.
It's not going to matter. It's going to be a nice.
So it's going to be over before halftime.
Yeah. So
Right. Well,
Yeah,
Right,
I think
no,
it will be.
well-
enjoy the rest of the game. Drinking
Yeah,
some
man.
beers.
in the third
Sit-
quarter,
sit
Will's going to
back.
put Field and Stream on. In the
Sit
third
back
quarter, it's
and
gonna be.
have some beers and just relax.
Okay.
We're going to be
So-
playing in 2 weeks.
All right,
they
so if
win-
it goes the other way, we don't want to hear you giving us the F-bomb.
If they win the Super Bowl, we going to do the pod from the parade.
I'll be in bed by that time.
Will and I.
No. At the barbecue.
I
Barbecue boy's having a big, he said.
yeah, we're having we're having a barbecue. Oh, absolutely. We're having a
He's having a
barbecue.
barbecue. It
There's
might
no
be
way I'm
10
going to the-
degrees out, but we're having a
No,
barbecue.
I'm not going to the parade. Last time I went
Will
to
and
the
I
parade,
will go to the parade, right? Will, we'll be in the field.
I've never been to a parade, so I have to go.
you didn't go to the
You've
last
never been to
one?
the parade. Oh my God.
I've chose work and sports over the parades.
I'll tell you,
Oh
the
my God.
Phillies parade
Oh, I like
was
it,
the
Will.
best parade I ever went to.
So,
The
Right,
Phillies
any-
parade was awesome.
any last minute thoughts before we close this out? We've been on an hour.
Who do you guys like in the AFC?
Oh,
Oh.
that's
I
that's-
like
we can talk
Cincinnati.
about that.
Cincinnati.
The
I like the
Bengals.
Bengals
Cincinnati.
too. I like the Bengals too. Yep.
I think that's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Bengals.
you know
And is
what I think?
Mahomes, how's Mahomes even going to play? Like,
I don't know, but I see him coming out and I see them putting Henny in, and I can see Cincinnati has a really good defensive coordinator. He's going to bunch everybody up on the line of scrimmage because all he does is throw 3-step drop throw. He doesn't throw the ball deep, Henny.
Wait a minute. Is this Cincinnati coach from the LaSalle? Is he from Philly guy?
no, that's
No,
that's
That's
McDermott.
McDermott. He's the one that played at LaSalle.
How about the coach for Cincinnati? I thought he was a Philly guy too. No,
No,
No.
that's Zach Taylor. No,
I don't think
he's
so.
not.
no, he's not. He's not from this area. No,
For
Sean
some reason,
McDermott.
he
The only other Philly guy that's a coach is the coach for
Cleveland.
Cleveland. He
that-
played at St. Joe's Prep.
Yeah.
He's the only other guy I can think of off the top of my head, unless you're thinking about a coordinator, and I can't.
No, I thought Zach Taylor was from Philly, but you
No,
said he's
I'm
not.
almost positive he's not. All right, any last minute thoughts before we wrap this up?
Sixers.
Let's
They're on a roll.
Yeah, okay, who cares? I care less about the Sixers. All right,
See you
we'll wrap
guys.
this up. I'll see you guys. Talk to you guys on Sunday.
See you.
Yeah.